Welcome! Come, bring yourself out of the bad weather and join us for another rainy day reading. I'm here today with Danny Kristen. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Glad to hear. And we have a new guest, the new game reviewer for Infinite Rainy Day, William. Oh, I forgot to ask. Did you want your real name or like a nickname?
I don't know. Probably just call me Loam Life, but
Okay, so just Will?
just William.
Okay.
I don't care.
Oh, you don't like Will?
No.
Oh, okay. Crap. I've been calling you Will in my head like all week, so I'm gonna fuck up royally during this whole podcast.
I don't care that much, but
Okay. Alright then, so, William, glad to have you on. None of that got cut out, by the way, so... Guys, we read Yuri this week.
We did.
Jonathan's gonna kill me when he finds out I left him out of this.
or maybe not, because can I say that it sucks now, or...
The podcast has started. You can say whatever you want about the manga now.
Okay.
If we say it sucks, then Jonathan's gonna really wish he'd been on it.
Yeah, no, yeah. Let me explain something to the audience. Sometimes when I don't plan properly, because I am the most professional bastard you'll ever meet, I will sometimes just pick a manga without proofreading it myself to see if it's any good, and I'll just hand it to some people from the site and be like, hey, we're gonna read this. And these morons just go, okay, and they read it. And that's how Hungry Joker happened, and that's how Ibitsu happened. Well, no, Ibitsu's a bad example, because I had read that one and I knew it was going to be bad. But we had Lamar on, so it was going to be a great bad.
That one was worth talking about, though.
Yeah, kind of. This wasn't even a good kind of bad. Like, it was kind of a bland kind of blad.
This is just...
If blad's a real word.
What are we even going to talk about?
I do know what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about what we've been reading lately. And Danny, since you had something so interesting to talk about, I'm going to start with you.
Again, what are we going to talk about? I have not been reading any manga recently besides this one, because I'm back home, and right now the internet in my room sucks, so I haven't been bothering with that.
You said you read something for a book report. Why don't you go ahead and give us the book report?
I'm taking a U.S. history class over the summer, and we're covering colonial history of America until, like, the mid-1800s. And so for my first book report in the class, I had to read and write on the book Taking Heaven by Storm, which is a book about the rise of Methodism in colonial America. And I'm sure all our viewers are dying to hear about it.
Yeah, you know, the worst part is we've had people talk about much worse, so go ahead, continue.
I mean, it's it's a history of the Methodism in America. It's just a recounting of the rise of this Christian denomination in colonial America and what it meant, what they did, and the legacy they left. And it was boring.
So then, between the manga we read for this podcast and that book, which would you say was more boring?
Oh,
The
that's...
manga.
Wow! Wow!
I at least figured out how to write 1,000 words paper on.
Slap it on the volumes.
Like-
More boring than Methodism.
I expected him to say the manga, but I expected it in a joking manner. I expected like, oh, well, clearly this manga was. No, that was the most straight-laced I've ever seen someone just say this was clearly more boring than this. Oh, God.
I'll catch up on JoJolion soon. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
Again, I will not read Jijoli until it's done. It is like not a good monthly series to read. Alright. William, you're the new guy. And I threw Danny under the bus first. Normally I throw you under the bus first, but I threw Danny because he's the one... You gotta fucking catch me on this shit. He's the one who said he hadn't read anything yet. So now I'm gonna go to you.
So, the Death Note guys have a new manga. Running and Jump right now.
I knew someone was gonna talk about this.
I mean, like, say what you will about Bakuman, or however you're supposed to pronounce it, like, at least they weren't shamelessly trying to recreate the success of Death Note. Platinum End? Yes.
See, here's the thing. I hate Platinum End. I really do. I'm reading it. I'm up to date on it. And I'll tell you exactly why I hate it, because I was thinking about it the other day. Platinum End is a more shallow future diary. And I didn't think that was possible.
No,
have you actually read Future Diary, William? Then you don't realize how much of a rip-off Platinum End really is yet.
I think I realized that, like, the last volume. Hey, wait a minute. This is the Future Diary premise. So...
Yeah. So tell us, what do you think of it?
Well, see, I've actually been enjoying it, because it's like, this is my kind of trash, so... It's like, yeah, so, like, there's this guy who looks like either L or Light, depending on the page. And he tries to kill himself, because he has the most laughably tragic backstory ever. We're like...
Oh god, what was it? He was like, oh yeah, he was living this perfect carefree life, and his parents and little sister got killed off in a car accident caused by his uncle, his aunt and uncle, who basically caused the car accident
for like his insurance money, or was it inheritance? Something.
Yeah, for his insurance money. It was the insurance money, and he just wanted to kill himself, and oh my god.
And then there's the angel. Not Yoko. That's Future Diary. What's the angel's name? I can't remember. It is? Oh wow.
Yoko.
Oh.
No, it's not. But like,
and
it's as good a name as
her headdress makes
any.
her look like she has the Yoko pose at all times. So, although she's a female character in a manga by the Death Note guy. And apparently, as of right now, she has ambitions on her own, which I think is a first for him, so...
No, I'd say Miho from Bakuman, despite the stupid marriage plot, was at least, like, progressive in her career. So I definitely give a thumbs up there, if just one. Danny, did you read Bakuman?
I have not.
Oh, actually, Bakuman's really good, so if you've got time, you should read that!
I've been watching Bakuan.
What?
Sure, this season.
Well, William, go ahead.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm just kind of curious with her, because it's like, wait a minute, she has goals of her own, and as from the latest chapter, like, apparently ulterior motives. It's like, normally a female... Although I guess, what was her name? The female Shinigami in Death Note? Like...
You think I'm gonna remember that? Fuck, what? that was like such a small character. Like, it's L, Ryuk, and Light. That's about it. I guess what the you know what? I was gonna say I remember the
Misa
female character from Death Note. I cannot recall. That was it. Misa, yeah. You know, it really seems like Obata and Oba are like really one note, and they somehow broke out of that for Bakuman and then just returned back to it immediately.
How did like Bakuman do it? The jump pulls, like.
I don't know, but it got 170 chapters, so I mean that's pretty good considering it was a Jump series about making manga.
Because, like the premise for this manga seems like someone needed to pay for a bathroom renovation, so...
Yeah, it really is. It's very sad. What we're saying, Danny, is you should absolutely read this as well.
But, like, I guess making fun of the stupidity of it, because it's like... Yet I've actually been enjoying it, because it's like, it is my kind of trash. Like... The last volume, they went to, like, the stadium, and it's like...
Oh, God, that's fucking stadium bit.
I'm caught up.
How far into it are you,
last
by the
time
way?
I checked.
Oh, good. Then you know the whole stadium bit. That was so dumb.
Like, what was it?
That was so
does anyone care about spoilers? Like...
Danny, you're
I'm not gonna read it.
So there's the bad guy who's... basically light without the veneer of decency. it's almost like he's
really
like,
is.
all right, you dumb fangirls. Light is a villain. Why won't that sink in? And fanboys, but I guess. So yeah, and like, except he's dressed up as a superhero. The costume that he stole from like a or a Super Sentai set.
Which I love the fact that he's trying to be a superhero in a stolen super costume.
And so the plot's Future Diary. Although unlike Future Diary, they don't have to kill each other, but this guy figured he'll just kill everyone and win by default and become God, and so he calls all the other God candidates to the stadium, and then some of them come and we get their tragic backstory. And then they have these arrows that they can use to kill people or make them fall in love that have a very, very specific range.
There are 3 powers. There are 3 powers going around 12 people. There are wings that make you fly super fast. There's a red arrow that makes people fall in love with you. And there's a white arrow that instantly kills people. I fucking hate this series.
And it's like, can you... So, like, yeah, so, like, the guy... they fly... So these 2 guys get their tragic backstory. They fly in to try to red arrow the guy, but it turns out the guy standing there is actually a guy who's been red arrowed by evil Super Sentai light. And then they meet this cute little girl who also gets a tragic backstory. But then 2 other supposed god candidates come in and they join up with them, except they turn out to also be people red arrowed. And then the evil guy switches places with his dummy and then kills everyone. So...
Yeah, no, it's like, it's so overcomplicated.
Yeah.
It's kind of amazing. But my favorite is the second we get to meet another guy with angel powers, he's using the red arrow to bang every hot chick he can.
And he's also Brazilian too, so it's like, oh wow.
Yeah, no, that was like, wow. All right, so anything else you want to add on that, William?
I've been enjoying it. It's Future Diary, but it's without with all of the dumb, but without the nihilism. So it's like, this is my kind of shit. It's like
that. It is very true. I fucking hate Platinum End, but god damn if it's not.
Yeah, it's like that was so dumb. No human would ever think like that ever. That's sure. It's like,
yeah.
And also, I'm also interested in, like, the female angel, because it's like, something horrible has to happen to her, right? This is the Death Note guys we're talking about.
Which one? The happy-go-lucky one or the suspicious one?
I am genuinely curious what's going to happen to her, so...
No, his angel's they're like... Okay, there's a happy one that's also super suspicious... But then there's also the really suspicious one who's the girl's
All
angel.
the angels are super suspicious. That's like one of the best things about it. It's like...
Like the angels are like just bullshitting all of them.
Yeah, it's like,
I can totally see
at the end of
that
like
twist.
the stadium bit, his angel flies in and basically fucks with the evil guy, to get them to escape, and like, hey, this part's actually pretty great.
It turns out the whole thing is really just so the angel can kill the guy and
totally
steal his
happen.
body to become God. It's like, I'm calling that twist now. The angels are the ones that'll become the gods, and the people just die off.
That totally makes sense.
I'm calling it. Alright. So I'm gonna take my turn now, and I'll try to make it quick.
It's also lavishly illustrated, but I guess maybe that's implied. Like, it's the Death Note guys. They have one guy illustrating and one guy writing, so...
Oh yeah, no. I enjoy the artwork in... Who does the artwork in? Is it Obata or Oba? I do not have a volume of Bakuman nearby, which kind of sucks. Otherwise, I'd look. But, yeah, I enjoy the artwork in Platinum End. I can definitely say that. Alright, so, I decided to read something good for once. So, I read The God's Lie by Kiori Ozaki. And this is just about a little boy named Natsuru. And, he's just a usual 6th grader. No luck with the ladies because he turned down Valentine's Day chocolates, because you don't do that. You just don't. Not when you're in school. As any series will tell you. Until he ends up going to see this other girl, Suzumura. And he ends up actually living with her due to certain circumstances. And then the tragedy happens. Now, I described it kind of funny, but truthfully, I really enjoyed this series. The artwork is really stunning. A very simplistic character designs, but beautiful backgrounds. Great paneling, great pacing. And story-wise, I don't really want to spoil it too much. But basically, I did some research on the author after reading this. And they're very well known for being good at tragedy. And this manga showcases it because I really think it's a compliment nowadays to say when you don't see something coming. When you think you know how a story's gonna go, and it just completely takes you from left field. And that's what this story did, and it hit really well, and I just fell in love with it from the moment the twist hit and everything. And that's pretty much all I want to say on it, because I really would just want people to go read this, because it's only 1 volume long. It was put out by Vertical. Vertical put it out. It is in bookstores now. I would highly recommend this. But as for... There's one other thing I want to talk about. I started reading Dragon Ball this week. Guys, did you know Dragon Ball started as a comedy?
In 7th grade, I got the jumbo volume of the first Dragon Ball, and it's like, oh hey, that's a penis.
Yeah. Do you guys know Dragon Ball is a comedy that has not aged well in its 30 plus years?
Yes.
Oh my god. Guys, Dragon Ball has aged terribly. And I love it. I have never read a gag series less funny. Even series that are bad at... Rui-Rui, the manga we're going to talk about finally, after we're done talking about all these other series, it was funnier than Dragon Ball. I mean, you look at it, I completely understand that Dragon Ball kind of just grabbed an audience, because that was kind of the big thing at the time. It hooked people. Nowadays, it is terrible. Dragon Ball, the storytelling in Dragon Ball is so bad. It's always just really bad jokes, and you don't think about it, because you think of Dragon Ball, and you think of DBZ, you think of the fight scenes, you think of powering up for a full episode, and then fighting the next episode before powering up again. It's you don't realize that this went to an action series, but it started as a horrible gag series. Don't read Dragon Ball, people. Don't read it. And that's pretty much all I have to say on Dragon Ball.
Forever, but I feel like that pervert pig is funnier than everything in Rui-Rui.
Oh, hang on a second. Actually, you know what? I have one more thing to say. After the tournament arc, you know, the one where Goku fights Jackie Chun, which is really Master Roshi, spoiler alert, sorry. They're eating dinner at a restaurant, and in the middle of the table where Oolong is sitting with them, there's a roast pig. Think about that. Remember who Oolong is, and then think about that.
There's a lot of characters that got cut leading into Z.
Okay.
But...
Oh yeah, like a lot of characters just stop being relevant. Oolong is the pig man for Danni. Now think about that. Think about sitting at a dinner table with a pig man and serving a whole roast pork.
Cannibalism.
Yep. Alright. I think we are done talking about what are we reading. So guys, do you know what that means? It's time to start reading. It's time to start talking about Rui-Rui. We've already read it.
First, before we start, can I ask you one question?
Yes.
Did you just hit the random button on, like, a just huge manga database?
You know, the funny thing is, I might have, because here's where I found this. I was looking through all the manga I set aside for future episodes, trying to figure out, oh crap, I need an episode. What are we gonna read? Logic's too long. Knights, I still need to read that. Let's see. No, I'm saving this one for when I want to piss off Jonathan again. Rui-Rui, this is a Yuri series. I can totally get Danni to read that. Was literally the first thought I had when I saw the series on my list.
Yep.
And then I remembered, oh yeah, William, we haven't had you on an episode yet. Gotta fix that. Let's get him on the Yuri episode.
Because, like, where do you find this manga? Nope. It's not even on my anime list where Taste Goes to Die. It's not even... Like, the last forum post on it is from 2011.
It doesn't have a Wikipedia page,
and has one reply.
Like, do you...
Yeah, no, this is why I'm in charge of this podcast.
Do you know what magazine you'd find in? Because I kind of want to know how this... Okay.
Comic
Like, when did it get canceled? Like, clearly sometime early on in Volume 2, because...
2011.
Yeah, this is apparently a series that went on for... Well, actually, no, it didn't go on for 2 years. It went on for 14 months. It started at the end of December 2009 and ended January 2011, so it only went on for a year. I suppose we can tell what this is about. So, there's a girl named Hanukkah, and she's a freshman at a new high school, very easygoing, and she only wanted to join the high school because the girls look cute in the skirts. Like, literally, like, I thought this was Jonathan's manga, because the first page just has the main girl just staring at a girl's butt in her skirt. And with the line, I can almost see it! It was so bad.
Nice tone setter.
Yeah. And then, of course, she needs to pick a club, but she doesn't care. So she ends up seeing a hot girl in the abandoned school building. And it turns out, this is Yuzuki, who's going to be the love interest of the series, and she has a fascination with abandoned buildings. And so, there's a whole club called the Abandoned Building Club.
Of course
so they join it.
Why
it somehow has more than one members.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Apparently it has 5 members, although the funny thing is, I don't think you ever meet the president.
We never met the president.
I knew it! I was like, wait, the series is ending. Did we ever meet the president? Did I just, like, phase that out of my brain? No, I knew we didn't.
The author was saving it for their tournament battle arc, but nope.
Yeah, really. Nothing happened in this manga. Like, this is your standard cookie cutter girls in a club having fun. There's the beach chapter, there's the school culture festival chapter, just all of that crap.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think earlier
Okay, no. Like, the coolest... I'm sorry, Danny. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but the coolest thing that should have happened in this manga is when they actually did it. They went to Battleship Island. The whole island off the coast of Japan that's abandoned. That should have been the coolest chapter. And the funny thing is, I like the artwork in this series, because, like, there was a scene, and you guys will remember this, where they drew, like, a replica of a building from Battleship Island, and it looked gorgeous. Like, this series could have really sold itself off the artwork. And this guy just needed a new writer. This guy, whose name, by the way, on Mal, which this is probably wrong, but it's Max on Mal. I'm almost certain that's wrong. So I'll have to research that more, but this guy needed a new writer.
Or a writer at all.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made it, while I was reading it earlier, I remember I took a screen cap of one particular moment, of them at the beach, and, what's her name? Yuzuki. And Yuzuki, she fell over, and she got ice cream all over her body somehow. And so it's just like this huge fan service shot where her legs are wide open and bent, and she's in the bikini, and she's got this vanilla ice cream all over her. And I was just like, remember when Rui-Rui was about going to abandoned buildings? And this is in, like, chapter 7. So halfway
Like, how many...
through
Did they go to, like, 4 abandoned buildings over the course? Or something? And no...
I think they go to 3, not counting the school,
and nothing ever
and
happens to
one
the
replica.
abandoned buildings. Like, they go to the house at night. It's like, oh, is there going to be a mystery? Is it going to be haunted? It's like... and then it's like, nope, nothing happens.
Oh, something did happen, though. Yuzuki had character development that we never saw.
Yeah. Okay, now, before we get on that, let me read something. Let me read what made this series sound appealing to me. The club's purpose is to visit abandoned buildings, rooms, or stations and see the beauty of the place that has been forgotten, but which is full of history. Places that are worn out by time, forgotten by people, but filled with hints into the past.
It sounds like a cool mystery. That is the biggest load of
bullshit!
It sounds like a setup for a cool mystery. And then add in Yuri, I'm like, hell yes, this is my favorite thing. Yuri, mysteries, old places, I love it.
And it didn't do anything.
Like,
Not.
There's like, I think, like, in, like, chapter, when they first join the building, like, this girl who's hanged falls out of the rafter, and it's like, wait, is this going to be something interesting? It's like, nope, it's a doll. They just completely go over it. Like, you don't find out it was, like, a doll hanging in the club entrance until later. Way later.
I've never seen, like, a more thought out... Like, this could have been anything. You could have made the club about anything, but you took the time to pick this very obscure thing that you could have done anything with. I mean, I mentioned before, they went to Battleship Island. They went to this entire island that was abandoned to take the fucking tour.
And all we saw them do was give Hanukkah her birthday present.
Yes. It's like they didn't even try to, like, fucking go, like that's how the manga should have ended. It should have been like, everyone's like, alright, we gotta see this place closer. And they all break away from the group and they all actually go into the island.
And they all die or
like,
something.
you know,
something happening.
Or yeah, like something collapses and that's why the club dissolves. It's not because the old school building turns out to be as dangerous as it probably is and literally cracks under Hanukkah's feet, leaving the dumbest cliffhanger of a chapter ending with no payoff.
Should have just been cut right there, just canceled.
See, I felt like it ending with, like, the building being closed down was a good idea if, like, this manga had gone on for 10 years and anyone cared about anything. Because as is, it's like trying to get sympathy. It hasn't earned at all. It's like, oh no, these flat wank
It was
body
metaphorical.
pillows have lost their club building. It's like,
why the fuck are they even gonna end the club with the building? It's like, that was literally a line thrown in like a couple chapters, or not a couple chapters, a couple pages before the end. Like, it's just like, the club will end with the building. It's like, why?
Because the mangaka knew it was his last chapter. Like, well, gotta add some closure, or whatever can pass as closure.
This manga apparently came out, or ended in 2011. And let's see, his other thing, which he did the artwork for... okay, fair enough. The guy has gotten work as an artist as late as 2014. So, funny thing, he actually did do something. And funny enough, it's the one thing he was actually good at. So, good on him.
Yeah.
Or her, or whoever it is, I don't know.
Max.
Yeah, Max. I'm glad we read this, though. I'm glad we're talking about it, because I feel we'll never find another manga with as much wasted potential.
The synopsis is better written than anything in it.
It's so true!
I guess the other thing is, I feel like this author really does care about abandoned buildings, because it wants to tell you how interesting they think they are.
But then he just gets too horny. Like, I'm
with William on this.
I gotta draw.
There's a clear passion.
I gotta draw this ice cream on this girl's
I don't even think it's that a problem. It's like, they can't...
Like, abandoned buildings, but I gotta...
Like,
ice
we haven't
cream.
even talked about Manny yet. Like, or
These
like
boobs.
the teacher who should be fired, but...
The one who keeps sexually harassing the other teachers and students? Yeah, that one kind of sucked.
And she's also the one who's buying the abandoned buildings. It's like, where's she getting that cash? Do they pay teachers better in Japan?
She's an Ojo-sama. They said that. She's apparently a rich lady who's working as a teacher at the school for some reason.
So wait, she's rich and she's working at a school to sexually harass kids. It's like, oh god. And this is played...
That's how she gets away with it. The money.
If we're talking about jokes that fell flat...
All the money, listeners.
If we're talking about jokes that fell flat, I noticed something. And I feel like I've been learning and observing more because I do this podcast with you, Danny, and Jonathan, and Tama. Because I feel like before... Like, go back a couple years, I would have seen this joke and been like, this wasn't funny, but I would have gone over it. Now I see this joke, and I'm like, this isn't funny, and it's really douchey. But these sexual comedies, always, and name me one instance where they don't do it, always have that make fun of the sexuality of a character joke.
Yeah.
And it's never funny. Never!
Yeah. Even in the Yuri.
Never funny.
I did appreciate, though. Like, it was just a random... It was kind of an unexpected thing that was just kind of thrown in there that I didn't expect as an aside, but I appreciated it. The protagonist is canon bisexual.
Very true. Very true.
Because she's just like, you only like girls, don't you? And she's like, no, I date a boy. I'm like, what? You would? And she's like, yeah, I date a boy. And that's just it. There are no boys in the manga. It's just, it's a thrown in there line, and I kind of appreciate that she's just canon bisexual.
Yeah,
but
fair enough.
That's where my praise of this manga.
I guess the other thing
that's where it cuts off. A couple pages into the first
I guess the other
chapter.
thing I realized, I feel like 25% of the manga's run is dedicated to Mana stripping, and we haven't mentioned her once yet.
I really almost want to just forget about her. It's like, you... Her whole character is stripping. Like, there's no character development. There's nothing... I don't even know how you remember her name. Because, like, I have a list. I tried to make a list of the characters, and then I realized I don't know which of these characters is going to be thrown out in a chapter or not, so fuck it. I just wrote down the 2 main characters' names. I don't even know how you remember her name, because I just remember her as the stripping girl. And there was also the girl with weird, like, freaking Mega Man transforming
I don't remember
arm.
her name. I'm just like, where did she get that arm? It's like, pervy teacher, Mana, eye patch girl. Oh yeah, the love interest has an eye patch, because of course she freaking does.
And it's hilarious that the reason for that. Reason for that is hilariously terrible. Mind if I explain?
It ties back into the character development we never saw.
Mind if I explain? So, this Yuzuki girl, she wears an eye patch, but not always. And she has to wear it because she experienced trauma some time ago, which, as we've later find out, is her parents, like, burned to death in a medical accident, protecting her. So she has to wear this eye patch for some reason. But she has to wear it when she's in light. And over one eye. And it turns her into this really secluded, lonely person when she's wearing it. And then when she takes it off, she's fine. But that's it. And I promise I'm explaining that well.
The worst part is we can back him up. He's explaining that as well as it's explained in the manga. Fuck. But anyway. So. Why do you hang out with me, Danny? I'm a horrible person.
Yeah, it's fine.
You're too nice. Alright. There's more to that, though, that Danny didn't explain. Here's what's horrible about that. Danny mentioned earlier, she has character development that we don't see. It turns out one of the abandoned buildings actually featured in the manga about abandoned buildings is Yuzuki's old childhood home. The one where her parents burned to death in.
And when they get there, they're setting it up. It's like, oh, is like a ghost gonna appear? Is something actually gonna fucking happen? Because this is like still like the end of like the first volume, so like I don't think it had been canceled yet, so
yeah. Yeah, no, like I would almost assume the order to cancel this series came after that chapter. But so what happens is there's a whole sequence between like Weird Arm Girl, Stripping Girl, and Honoka. They have a whole big thing, like a whole sexual romp, comical romp, by the way. And then we cut to Yuzuki, and this is after we find out this is where her parents burned to death. It turns out she's had some big revelation that we never saw, that we never got to see the justification for.
What happens is they're like, no one can talk to her. We just have to leave her alone. And Hanukkah's like, no, I want to do this for her. I care about her. I want to talk to her. I want to help her. And so Hanukkah goes to talk to her, and then she's okay. We never never hear what she says. We never hear what they talk to, their discussion, anything. That's the end of the chapter. She's just okay after that. Like, they leave. It cuts to next morning and they leave. We never hear anything about what happened in there. The closest thing to some kind of actual story, character arc, anything was cut.
God, this person doesn't know how to write. Like, they don't know how to write at all. It's like, oh my god.
And there's, like we've said, there's so much potential. It's a cool concept. It sounds like a cool mystery. And the characters, they were really bland, but they had potential. And the art was good. The art was good. It was cute, and it was nice. I really liked it. It kind of reminded me of my favorite mangaka, Doman Simon.
The girls had, I think, really nice designs. But I think what really stood out to me were the abandoned buildings. Like, the backgrounds, the details put into it, they look so good. And that, like, and really from the first chapter, it kind of hooked me on that. Like, I really, like, when I was reading this, I was still, like, super excited and enthusiastic about this into the third and fourth chapter. Because I'm like, okay, they're building up the haha club, we've had fun, haha kind of stuff. They're just building that up. They're going to get to something eventually, and the artwork is really good. Never goes anywhere, but the artwork was really nice all the way through. I'm sorry, I took that over. Anything else?
I'm not as high on the artwork as you two were. I didn't really like how they're paneling, but you read way more manga than I do, so
I can agree on it. The paneling wasn't as great. There were pages where I was like, okay, that's pretty awkward. Like the design work, I liked it. But as for some of the framing and the paneling, I was like, okay, this just feels kind of lazy and not well thought out.
There was that part where they were jumping between like a flashback of going to explore some rail tracks and the beach, and it was kind of all over the place to the point where it was very clear this person bit off more than they could chew trying to write something like this. And that was maybe the one time I really didn't like what they were doing with the paneling. Otherwise, I didn't notice it.
Yeah,
I think we've talked about all we can for this.
Because there's not much to talk about.
I don't know. I mean, you say that, but you want to know something? We pulled a 20-minute episode out of this.
Probably the shortest one I've been on.
Definitely so. Shorter than Wandering Suns, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
So, I think it's about time we give our final details and end this series out. So, William, you're
I'm
new.
surprised
Go
PA
ahead. What's your
Works never
final
made an
thoughts?
anime out of it, and 3 out of 10. Like, it sucks.
Wow. Starting off with some brutality. All right. Danny, you're up.
Well, I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. It's flawed. It has potential. It has some nice art. But it doesn't follow through on anything. So it's below average. It's not quite okay. It's bad, but I'd rather put it as flawed as our scoring system goes.
Fair enough.
So 4 out of 10.
Okay. I've read 1 and 2s out of 10. This was not 1 and 2s, because clearly the person who made this had some talent, especially in artwork, and maybe just some basic writing, but this person clearly had no idea what to do with the plotline they created. They took the time to meticulously forge this setting and let it go completely to waste. And so, yeah, I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 10, too. This was, you say flawed, I would say just straight out bad. There wasn't even any good fan service for a Yuri series,
kiss.
which is the worst part.
Yeah.
Alright, so, you guys talk amongst yourselves. Let me tally this up.
Not good. Not good. It's the kind of Yuri where, like, it's not a cute Yuri. It's the sexualized lesbians are predators Yuri, which, nah.
Which gets a group score of 3 out of 10.
Yeah.
So, guys, we're done with Rui-Rui. Are you guys glad I made you read this?
No.
William, are you happy you got a chance to read your first series for a rainy day reading?
I always feel like I should read and watch more terrible shit, but yeah, this was just a waste of time.
I'll make sure you get on the next, not on the next movie. You see, here's what I hate about Whitley. He keeps putting good movies down for heavy storms. There are so many bad movies like Appleseed we could be watching. I'm seriously thinking this fall, I'm gonna tell him, go take a hike for 3 months. I'm taking over the animated movies section, and we're gonna watch some shit. Like some real, unadulterated shit.
Oh.
And I hope Whitley is listening, and he heard this whole episode, and he hears this. And then he can talk to me about it. But for now, I think we're done. So, thank you very much, guys, and thank you, William, for coming on your first episode. We'll be sure to have you on for another one real soon. Something hopefully much better than this. Oh, who am I kidding? I'm sticking you on the next light novel manga.
I mean, at least with that, there'll be something to talk about, hopefully.
Ayo!
Night.
Good night, everyone.
Night.